Kia ora, and welcome to the What Inspired Me Today podcast, a podcast created to inspire you to be the very best that you can be. My name is Stephen Matthew, and this is what inspired me today. Kia ora everyone, welcome back to the podcast. It is an honor and a privilege to be speaking with you today. In this week's podcast, I wanted to take a quote from a person named David Larby, and he says this: "If I write every day as a writer would, what then is the difference between me and the writer? If I pretend that I'm a poet every single day, what's the difference between me and an actual poet? I can feel like I'm not a poet, I'm not a writer, but my poetry exists. Isn't it so funny that when you go to sleep, you have to pretend to fall asleep? When we want to be anything, that's the process we have to follow. We have to act like we are that thing, to show ourselves that we are that thing. Logistically, it's simple. Emotionally, it's not. Countless examples across countless things. Until we feel like we are, it's hard to say that we are. In doing, regardless, you are the version of yourself that you envision. At a certain point, what exists becomes stronger than what I feel." I really love this expression that David has shared, because we often use the term fake it till you make it, right? Pretend like you are something until you actually bring it into existence. In New Age philosophy, people talk about the words manifestation. In proper religious contexts, we talk about the word faith, where we're actually believing for something even when we don't necessarily see it. But the act of doing is what ultimately gets us to where we need to be. So if I want to be a writer, if I write every day, I am actually becoming what I envision myself to be. If I am content creating like I am now, as I'm doing it, even though I might not necessarily like the term content creator, it is what I'm doing. Because when I upload things online and I share it to different social media, that is what the internet and what the algorithm says I am. I recently noticed when I was checking all of my old Facebook settings, Facebook has assigned my profile as a content creation page because of the information that I share. Now, that's not because I have intended it so, that is not because I have tried to give myself a title for that, but because I'm creating content every single week to share, the algorithm has assigned this to me. If I want to become a better teacher, I have to constantly work on my craft of teaching. If I want to become a filmmaker, I better start making some films. These are not things that we necessarily feel like we are, but given time, we actually become it without even feeling anything. We are naturally in the process of doing it because that's who we are. That is what we are doing. So my question for you this week is this: are you limiting yourself from what you can do because you don't feel like you are supposed to be there? Do you feel like you have some imposter syndrome where you feel like this might not be for me, or I'm not good enough, or I might not be there? Remember, your feelings do not dictate who you are becoming. Who you are becoming is dictated by the actions that you take. If you want to become a better person, start taking actionable steps towards that. If you want to start doing things and becoming who you want to be, start taking the steps to get there. If you want to become financially free, you're going to have to start making financially responsible decisions. If you want to get to the next stage of your career, what are the steps that you need to take? You don't need to necessarily feel like doing it, but as you take those single steps, one day at a time, one small step at a time, you will get there without even needing to feel anything at all. Because especially when you start doing things when you don't feel like it, that is when the difference is going to count. So I want to encourage you today, don't put yourself down. You can get to your aspirations if you take small steps every day, even when you don't feel like it. Don't let your feelings dictate your actions. Rather, let your actions dictate your feelings. That way, you will get to your goals and aspirations that you are dreaming of. So, take this week to set some goals down. Where do you want to be in the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next year? How do you want to feel? What do you want to be like? How do you want to think? And what are the small steps you can get there? As you take those small steps, you will get to where you want to be because you're being consistent, because you are doing it in spite of your feelings, and you are moving forward. So, with that said, have a great week.